that's the delightful refrains, the opening of the Byrds classic You Ain't Going Nowhere, which I believe is the first track that kicks off the Byrds classic Sweethearts of the Rodeo, that one album, what many consider the big bang of country rock, the one they did with Graham Parsons. And that's the opening track, and that is, the whole thing opens up with the big bang of B-Bender himself, Mr. Clarence White, and those opening notes to kick off that song and kick off that classic album. Now this is actually a subscriber request from a few weeks back. A gentleman named Dean, I believe, requested the opening to the Byrds You Ain't Going Nowhere. Now the Bender Bunker's not known for any kind of note-by-note transcriptions. It's really not what we do. It's not our specialty, because don't tell anyone, I'm not that good at it. But that just happened to be one I had learned in the past when I first got my B-Bender a couple of years ago. I did challenge myself to kind of get started and learn that one, so I quickly relearned it for this lesson, and that's what you just heard. That's what we're going to be going over today in today's lesson. And so, you know, I know the title says You Ain't Going Nowhere, but it's not true. You're going to go get your B-Bender guitar, hopefully. Join me on the other side of this fade out, and let's learn it together. All right, let's get rolling with subscriber-requested lesson, the Byrds classic You Ain't Going Nowhere, with the classic opening riff by Clarence White to start that whole song off. And I thought maybe a good starting point was to real quick take you through how I broke this riff down and learned it in the first place. This will give you a little insight to how I attack these things. Maybe it helps you out. First thing I do is just learn the song. What are the chords doing? What am I playing over? So this song is basically G, A minor, C, and back to G. So like so many classic songs, it's 3 chords and the truth. Okay, so we're starting in G. We're primarily in G, but we're definitely beginning in G. So my hand naturally gravitates to what I've always called the twang box shape for G. And if you don't know what I mean by twang box, real quick, head back to the Bender Bunker channel. That's our most popular video we've ever produced for the channel, which is unlocking the twang box and covers the primary B-Bender shapes you probably need to know to get started on your B-Bender journey. Or stick with us, go back for it later, but that's what I mean by twang box. So I'm up here on my primary G twang box shape, and I'm just hitting it. So good news. I don't need to do much work there. That's pretty close to the riff. A little variation, but I'll come back for that later. It then goes down to A minor. So I'm doing my primary shape for A minor. It's not exactly it. A little bit more work needed there, but I know my hand's in the right place. And then C, twang box for C's down here. Back to G. So I'm thinking, okay, the C's not too bad. My hand's in the right place with the twang box. Again, slight variation on a theme. And then I actually go ahead, start picking out the notes. I just know where my hand needs to be, though. I know it needs to be right here. So then I take some time and I come up with this, which is as close as my ear can get to what I'm hearing on that studio version. So let's start at the beginning, like we should. Move up close as always for the hot fretboard action. And we're going to start with this. And the notes we're employing there are going to be 4th string, 12th, 3rd on the 9th, 3rd string on the 12th, and then your index finger is going to bar the top 2 on the 10th. So those are your main positions for this riff. Now, when I start a B-Bender section, my natural playing style tends to slide into notes. It's not what he's doing. So what I realize he's doing is he's just hitting that 4th string, 12th fret straight. He's hitting it twice. So those are your first thing you want to do is the 4th string, 12th fret twice. Then 3rd string, 9th, 3rd string, 12th. And then when you get to the B string on the 10th, you're going to need a little pre-bent on the bender before you strike it. So have your bender engaged, strike it and let it down. And then come back with your ring finger to the 12th fret on the 3rd. So right there, that is. Okay. Now we're there. We're going to hit the B string on the 10th again. And this time, as we hit it, we're going to take the bender all the way up. We're going to hit the high E, which is already covered with our index finger. Come back to the bent B and let it down slowly. And that's basically the riff. Now, that very last note, the B on the 10th, as we're letting down the bender, we need to add some vibrato if we're trying to match as closely as we can to the studio version. Excuse me. Shrimp salad. So that's what I'm hearing, and that's what I'm doing. Now, a real quick note I didn't mention earlier, I'll go ahead and mention now. I'm hearing a softer attack by Clarence on the G and the A minor. And I think to get close to that, what I've done to try and match closer to the studio version, I've rolled back some treble on my Tele, a little bit less slap back, but more importantly, I've taken the sharp end of my pick, I've rolled it around to the rounded end. And that gives you a softer attack on your strings, which is mimicking more closely to what I'm hearing. Okay, so now we're going to go to the A minor section. So that's actually 3 notes, no big deal. The 2 notes, it's really 2 notes being hit 3 times with a bender involved. And the 2 notes involved is your index finger on the high E 7th and your middle finger on the B string 8th. And you're going, but you're using a bender, of course. So we're starting on the B string 8th and we're going to hit it and bend it all the way up. Then we hit the high E 7th. Come back to the still bent B string on the 8th, but like we did before, we're going to let it down slowly with vibrato. And I'd say get lazy with your bends. He's not doing a real staccato. He's really getting slow with these bends. All right, so here's what we know so far. So now we're going down to the C section. This gets a little bit more straight B bender. It gets a little bit more staccato here. So I'm not really changing my pick around, but I am moving my hand back a little bit towards the bridge to give it a little bit more of a trebly chicken picking attack, because that's what I'm hearing. So this next part is, and that's a pretty classic straight ahead B bender riff that you hear all the time. And of course it wasn't that common back then when he did it, but here it is again. So you've got your index finger barring the top 2 on the 3rd. You're going to start the journey by hitting the B string on the 3rd fret twice, and then the second time you're bending. Keep it bent. Little finger goes up to the high E 5th, back to the still bent B. The high E that's already covered by the index finger. Still bent B, but letting it down. And then your 3rd string on the 5th. That's the riff. And then the last part is, so after I do that section for the C, I drop down and I put my middle finger on the B string 3rd fret, hit it straight. This last part has no bender in it. I hit it straight, and then I hit the high E string open after it. And then my index finger pops over to my 3rd string on the 2nd, and he's just basically kind of hitting it once or twice. I can't quite tell, but he's doing a lot of vibrato, and he's letting it go to the open G string because you're back to the major G chord. So again, you're, again, your index finger, 3rd string 2nd, open. All right, so that last part again. All right, let's put the 3 parts together. And that's how I hear it. Like I say, note by note is not exactly what we do here in the Bender Bunker. It's not our specialty, but I think that'll get you 95% of the way there. I'm going to leave that 5% of the mystery for you to figure out. So there you go. That's the end of the lesson for you. Hopefully that was helpful to the subscriber. I believe your name was Dean. Hope that helped you out, Dean. I appreciate the request. And if you're new to the Bender Bunker, check out the channel. We've got a lot of E-Bender videos. This is by no means even close to the 1st or 10th one we've done. There's a lot waiting for you there. And they're all in one playlist, so look for that. We've got a motto around these parts. It's called, "It's never too late to go on a bender," so I hope you do. If you liked any part of this video, if you found it useful, give it a quick thumbs up. If you've got any B-Bender players that may not be familiar with the Bender Bunker channel and these videos, I definitely would recommend you share it with them, because we need to spread the gospel of B-Bender together one video at a time. And before I let you go, I heard a good rumor that fits in exactly to this lesson. I read it about a week ago. There's a rumor that McGuinn and Hillman from the original Byrds are going to get together, and they're going to enlist Marty Stewart with Clarence's original B-Bender Telecaster, and then take Marty's band, who's, in my opinion, one of the best bands playing now, going in any genre. Those boys are talented. And they're all going to get together and tour in the near future and play the entire Sweethearts of the Rodeo album all the way through and some other classics on top. So you're going to have the two original Byrd members, and you're going to have Marty with the B-Bender Telecaster and his band. And I just can't even imagine. Now, that's actually a tour I would pay well-earned American currency to see. So I hope they come to Texas. So I thought I'd share that with you. I'm not sure it's a certainty yet, but what I read recently, that very well may happen. Let's hope it does. All right, appreciate you sticking with me for this lesson. Hope you got something out of it. And until next time, keep it bent.